Ya mwen la oui. Ya monte la konye la. Non, non, c'est mbat paye, bon, c'est fait me li donc mbat c'est kounya moi voyer le ban là. C'est dans ya sous non 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 WhatsApp. Moi clique sur moi et puis la paye. Exactement. Mais oui, all right. Okay.
Hello, Evans, you here? Evans, Jean-Gilles? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Evans?
Can you hear me?
Hello, comment on est?
Bien, bien.
Evans, Evans,
Oui,
Evans.
oui, oui.
Why don't you, instead of sending a text, why don't you put it in the email? What you send to me is you send a text message. We say it could be better to send it the email, okay? Because the link, when you send a text, I have to open it with my phone and the text. But if you send it to my email, I'll be able to open it in my computer. Anyways, I see you. Okay, no problem. Okay, but
Yeah, you can open WhatsApp on your computer and click on it.
well,
you can open WhatsApp on your computer and you click on it.
No, I don't want to put WhatsApp in my computer. I got WhatsApp in my telephone. Anytime we have to communicate, we send an email, the laptop is there. Okay, it could be much better for everybody if you send it in a link and the email, we put in the computer, we click on it, we are all set. But when you put in the the text message, sometimes people are going to get problem to open the web to get it going. So put it in the computer and in the email, it could be much better. Okay, so well, okay, okay, we can keep going. Okay, so next time we put in the email, it could be better.
You don't have your email in your
He didn't send it. No, I said.
Oh, he sent it in a text. Okay, okay.
You send it in a text. If you send it in a link, and then I'll click on the link, and then we all set. So now, when you put it in the WhatsApp, I won't be able to use my phone. If somebody call me, I cannot do anything. But
I am not using my telephone. I'm using my computer.
Well, okay.
You are using your phone, but I'm not using my phone. I'm using my computer actually.
Okay, okay. I didn't install WhatsApp in my computer yet. Okay. All right. So okay, no problem. Okay.
No, if you go to start, and then tap WhatsApp, it will be there. Go to start at the bottom of your computer.
Okay, I will do it. Okay, I'll do it later.
No, just tap WhatsApp.
Let's keep going. Okay,
We'll do that later now. Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep going. Okay.
Yeah, but you can still do it. You can still do it, Jane.
Okay, that's okay.
While you're on the phone, what I'm saying is that
I will do it. I will do it, but not now. Not now.
All right.
Let's do it. Last time we were in the computer. Today
last time we were using WebEx. So you are using two different programs.
Okay, thank you. So we cannot be bouncing left over. Everybody get a different time. Thing. That's not too good. We had to get something standard. Okay, so we have to go using computer. When you send an email to my computer, it's easy. I open it. So now next time I will try to learn about the WhatsApp in my computer. You know, so I just come in. I'm tired. I'm jumping to get in, and then when I get there, it's not that. Okay, all right, okay. We're going. Okay, that's all right. We keep going.
Bonsoir. Comment nous y est?
Très bien.
Ok. Nous des gens qui parlent en pile. Ça c'est vrai, Président.
Plaît-il? Sorry?
Je ne vais pas attendre.
Vous entendez-moi?
Je ne vais pas attendre, non?
Vous
Je ne vais pas attendre clair.
Vous ne attendez-moi?
Donnez-le bien clair.
Vous entendez tout là, moi je ne vais pas attendre des gens très clairs, non, je ne vais pas connaître.
OK.
Et quand il y a entendu très clair?
Marie me entend très bien pourtant.
OK.
Evans, vous parlez, vous entendez vous-même.
Et
moi, je parle d'avec.
Ok, je entends Evans très clair. Je entends oui, mais je entends me voir couper de temps en temps.
Yeah, les bons coupures, yeah.
Et Jean,
Jean.
Yes.
En bas, screen one, juste taper WhatsApp. Juste taper. Juste écrire WhatsApp.
Ton frère Michel, vous ne pas attendre moi?
Vous m'entendez, oui?
Ok. Eh bien, on
a. Il va être coupure de temps en temps.
Oui, bien, ok, on avance. Nous pas perfect en premier temps. Ok, on avance.
Mais vous savez, nous 4 qui là, toujours, pas content de l'autre jour.
Ah, nous font toujours?
Mais les Léon, ça passe.
Des fois, c'est les boules Léon.
Alta Baram là, ça passe.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a Alta? Non? On va connaître Alta.
Son of the Holy Spirit, amen. Let's bow our heads and seek for God's forgiveness and grace. We are your children, O Lord, and we are seeking to do your will. Please have mercy on us. We pray that tonight we can work efficiently. We want to do your work. We want to bring our talents and our gift and our availability to your service. You send us, Lord, and we say, yes, we shall go. Please bless us and protect our family, and protect the mission that we are entrusted with. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Hi everyone. How is everybody? Evans, you're eating a lot. That's good. That's good for the body, man. Are you going to be sharing with us?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes. We're trying to keep the meeting on time, but it says 7, but rarely do we start at 7. So we're trying to see if next time we will be on time to keep the meeting on track and to be productive and efficient. Today I sent you what I've received yesterday from Suze. She sent us some backup, 4 PDFs related to St. Angela and St. Matthew's P&L. Last time we had 1 set of P&L, and this time they gave us 2. That makes it 3 per parish. We were hoping to get the balance sheet accounts and the full balance sheet, and especially the cash account of the balance sheet. So they didn't send us again any balance sheet, and nor did they send any bank reconciliation or statement of cash flows to see how cash come in, how cash go out, and what's the best use has been done with cash. So we're hoping they're trying to work hard on it. I hope so, but it's taken too long to get us to the documentation that we really need. So there is no way you can work only with the P&L. It's a set of 3 financial statements. The 3 together become one body, and that's what they call articulation. The three financial statements should articulate. They should be connecting the dots from one to the next, and it should make sense when you connect the three sets together. Unfortunately, we've got only the P&L, which is the income statement, what's come in and what goes out. That's the revenue and expense report, but we don't have the assets, what we own, what we owe, and what's left in our as net asset of the parishes, what's left after we remove the debts from what we own from the parish. So that's kind of disconcerting not to have all the elements to issue some good reflection and participate fully. We can still work with the P&Ls. That's out of our hands. That's been 1 month. We've been waiting for documentation, and that's not something that's unusual with these guys. It's not uncommon. That's what probably took us where we are. Every time the finance councils wanted to meet, either for St. Matthew or St. Angela, Derek or the team never provided the documentation that we need. And here again, we're trying to get those documentation. We're still not getting the full scope of information. So we're trying to work with what we have, but we cannot really
Sorry, guys, if you are not talking, please
we
put
can only
your
talk
phone
about.
on mute.
Am I
talking, mute your microphone.
Yeah, someone, I think it's over.
Yeah,
Can you hear
everybody
me?
mute your microphone because Michelle Bolivar is talking now.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's like John just popped up. Okay, I'm gonna go repeat what we said a little bit earlier. In general, to make a good, to issue a good opinion or to comment validly on the state of the parishes, we would need 3 sets of financial statements, which is 1 balance sheet or the statement of position of the parish, 1 P&L that tells you the revenue and the expenses of the parishes, and also the cash flow statements, which is connected with the bank reconciliation. With the cash flow statements, you can tell the sources of cash and the uses of cash. For most operations, for most organizations, we can always have, for most organizations, you would see investment activity, operations, and then financing activities. The operation is what goes in and out constantly in the flow of, in the daily event of the parish. The investment are more related to the buildings, to the machinery, if we have machinery, but mostly to the building and the land. And the financing is mostly the money that we borrow and the debts or money that we loan to people if we loan any money to anybody. So that's a piece that's very important for the parish to see also. So out of the 3, we only get the P&L, which is the income statement that tells us only what comes in, what comes out, but not any relationship to cash, which is a balance sheet item. So we're going to talk about again what we get, but not enough information to form a very good opinion, to form a good to issue a good comment that can be useful on Friday. So let's walk. I hope you have read it. Yeah, we can always put them on screen after. Evans, you have them on screen. Are you sharing, or you want to do the sharing today? Evans, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. You can share as well. Everybody can share, actually. But yeah. I can do it. But you can share as well if you have it.
Okay.
You have it. You can share.
Okay. You're not seeing my screen. I haven't shared yet.
So do you want me to bring it up?
Yeah, no, I can bring it up. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
You're seeing me now?
Yes.
Okay. This is one of the, this one is about 1917 to 1918. That's a comparison again.
You mean 2019, 2018?
Yes,
Yeah.
that as of the date of June 2018. I
Mhm.
think last time we discussed 2019, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're kind of going backward this time. That's 2018
In
versus
2017.
2017. Okay, let's go at the bottom. In 2017, St. Angela had a deficit of 42,000. $42,000 in 2017. That deficit jumped up to 119,650 in 2018. That's quite a jump. That's more than 3 times. I don't know. How do you explain that? We probably need some more information to explain that. There are no notes to explain why there are such a variation. We would probably mention that. So the total expenses for St. Angela in 2017 was higher. 2017, they were 526, and 2018, 483. The revenue for St. Angela in 2017 was 484, and the revenue went down in 2018 to 364. That's about 1,000 and something down, 120, 25% down. It went 25% down from 17 to 18. All right. So 18 was a bad year for revenue. 25% of the revenue was lost just in 2018. Let's look at what made up that revenue in those 2 years. Collection was not bad in 2018 though. From 2017, it was 211, and 2018, it was 218. Tuition and fees, I don't know where those tuition and fees come up. Do they have, we didn't have the school in 2017 and 2018. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you skip donation. The donation went down by 90%.
The donation, yeah.
It went
You
down.
see, in 2017, the church received, that's from, I don't know from who, bequests, grants, donation, 65. And in 2018, they received only 6,000. That's a big jump. That's a big drop of 90%, 90.
So can we ask question where this 65,000 come from? Where it come from? Donation? Where?
Yeah, who gave those money? What kind of donation they were?
Yeah,
That's a fair question.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we probably don't have enough details about who gave so much in 2017 that we didn't receive from in 2018. If we know the name of those people who donated, maybe the committees could reach out to them and ask them why they stopped giving, and if we did anything wrong that caused them not to give. So what would be the source of this giving in 2017 that disappeared in 2018?
Yeah, it's a big drop. 6,000 versus 65,000.
Donations. I don't know what kind of donations there were, but that's a fair question. If you want to make a note on your thing, that's a fair question to ask. Joyce, are you reading?
Yes.
Yeah, we are on that page of St. Angela comparison between 2018 and 2017.
Yes,
It's like the third line down
I'm
under
with you.
donation, order, gift, and bequest.
I'm with you.
Okay, so there was a jump that can warrant some kind of explanation of the flux variation. What caused that fluctuation in that donation basket? And what would be the source of this donation? That's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
So rental, I probably think it is tuition. Then again, that's another question that's fair. What make up tuition? What makes it up? We don't have a school. We don't have anything. I don't know if the CCD classes and other classes yield some kind of tuition, but we don't know exactly what makes up tuition. It's more about telling us more about what explanation about this account, the definitions of these accounts, what define each lines. When we say collection, what is a collection? When we say donation, what is a donation? When they say tuition, what makes up tuition? So we don't know the definition, the detail of the definitions.
Oh, okay. For Michelle, can I stop? Can I ask a question? So the tuition is an expense or is a gain?
That's a revenue. That's money coming in. That's revenue. But
Yeah.
what do we do to that generate tuition? We don't have a school and we don't offer classes. So we would like to know what kind of tuition we're charging.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Not to know.
Because the school stopped working for the past few years. I don't think we had any school tuition.
Yeah.
Will it be CCD? Like the money that we collect from people?
I don't know. Maybe they just need to put more explanation for each line. There must be, how do we define each line? Okay, and
I think maybe this one been long time ago since the school was open. They were having a school, and this shit stay in the data base, and they just print it out because it should not be. What is tuition? Where does money come from? It's
yeah,
not tuition.
we don't know. We don't know. Okay, let's go to rental. Rental is small. We don't spend too much time on it, from 1,000 to 500. It could be the hall that's rented. I don't know. Sacramental offerings. That went up by 23% from 21 to 26. But other revenue, where did that money come from in 2017? From 134, that went down again to 84. Where did those money come from? And how did they disappear all of a sudden?
Other revenue. Well, this is
That's in line over here for other revenue.
Other revenue.
And that, it went down by 37%. So it must have been a good explanation. If you get to something from 134 to 84, there should be some explanation, some note explaining why this was a good year in 2017 and so bad in 2018. So we never get anything of this nature, like almost 50,000 down. Missing revenue, that doesn't tell me anything either.
No.
What does that mean, missing revenue? You call it revenue, but it is missing revenue. So I don't know what it is.
How could it be missing?
If it's revenue, how is it missing? Revenue should not be missing. So all these line items, they are not defined properly. So we need some kind of definition for each line and what they're trying to tell us. In their mind, they may make sense, but if you give a report to people who don't understand what the lines mean, it's not really worthwhile to look at that report.
Yeah.
So expenses went up, and for salaries and benefit, there is a 10% increase in salaries and benefit from 17 to 18. I'll skip the next line and we get clergy stipends. it went down. Okay. So it looks like a lot of priests or people who come to say Mass didn't come this year. In 2017, there were more visiting priests than we had in 2018. That's how I could explain that. So it went down from 47 to 36. Usually when a visiting priest come to a parish, they give them a stipend after they say Mass. That's an indication that they have less priests visiting to say Mass on the side.
But that money can be so high. That's something we see very often, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's stipend, clergy stipend.
It can be
Then again,
47,000.
you can ask for explanation. How can you spend that much on stipend if the priests are not parish priests?
Yeah.
So those are things areas that might need some improvements and work for saving parishes some kind of money, because in that time of struggle. So all in all, that's why it comes from the total revenue went down by 25%, going from 484 to 364 on that line over here. So all these lines, if you ask for explanations and documentation, and they should be able to provide, I hope. Then expenses, after revenue, when you get revenue on one side, then you get expenses at the bottom. When you minus expenses from revenue, that's what's left for your net income or net loss for the year. Okay? So we have seen that the expenses were way up in both years. Let's look at the bottom part. In 2017, we had expenses of 526, and in 2018, we have expenses of 483. So expenses went down.
But the revenue went down.
It went down in 2018.
And the 6,000?
Yeah.
So the revenue went down. Yeah.
Yeah, both went down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But my biggest question were up there, okay? When it went from, when you get, for example, that revenue.
Donation from whatever it is.
Yeah, you get some revenue, some numbers that are kind of very, very astronomical. And they need some explaining. They need notes to explain those things. All right, let's go back to the expenses part. Let's go line by line again. Expenses in 2017 were lower than expenses in 2018. So it went up by 10%. We already looked at stipends for priests. It went down by 23%. Professional contracting services and stuff like that hasn't changed really that much, 4%. Office expenses went up from 16 to 22,000, 5,000 difference in the 2 years, 33% up in office expenses. We wanted to know, that's a pretty significant increase for expenses in an office, 23%. So this is an area that can be improved also. Is everybody with me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So Joyce, if you're looking on the expenses, the first line item on the expenses.
I'm with you.
We are with me. Okay, cool. Okay, I know that you have your papers. You're not following with the computer, so I want to make sure that we are doing the same thing. Yeah. Okay, then you get the clergy expenses, stipends. Then you get professional services. You get office expenses is one area of concern. That if you want to make a note of that, that's 33% up. That's an area of concern. It's usually kind of high from year to year. All right, facilities and maintenance. In 2017, St. Angela had more repairs than in 2018. for maintenance expenses. It went down by almost 50%, 52%.
Yeah, it was half, 50% to 24. Yeah.
To 24.
Yeah,
So
almost
I
half.
don't know if that can be confirmed. Did you guys spend more? We don't know. Or did you spend less? But it looks like 18, there was not too much expenses compared to 2017. Utilities went down, less electricity, less heat maybe by 12%. That's a good sign. We want that to continue, if that can continue. Total facilities expenses went down in total by 33%. Okay, so the buildings and the space used between utilities were used more efficiently in last year, in 2018, year before last. I wish they could have provided everything in Excel. So when we're doing that, we could have 3 years worth of study, like we could get side by side 2019, 18, and 17. But we cannot do that with this report because it's not in Excel and you have to retype, recopy the information that's given to you. So I wish they have provided that in Excel form. I was going to put a request for Derek so he can provide this in Excel form so we can manipulate the data and make better comparison ourselves from year to year.
And I got a suggestion also.
Sure.
Maybe when if he's doing the report the way it is, why he doesn't put a minus sign on when we are in a loss and the percentage.
The parentheses mean minus. When you're looking at this, for example, those parentheses, that means minus.
Oh, okay. That the way. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you don't need a minus sign. So anytime you see a parenthesis, that means minus in accounting.
Well, to add on to what Gene is saying, I understand that the parentheses mean a negative thing. What I would like to see is also make that red. Put it in parentheses and put it in red, so immediately you understand
pops up.
That's a loss.
Yes.
So tell them to make it red.
Yes.
Because anytime we see something in the red, we want to speak to it.
If we had that in Excel, we probably could do that. I'll try to see if they can give that in Excel.
Very good job.
That's a good point too. Yeah, my parentheses, red, and flag everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down the list again. Where were we? We were on properties and liabilities. Insurances, insurance went down. I don't know why. You get a better deal. I don't know. From 38 to 36. Usually they go up, but insurance expenses went down for the property. Then we get travel and entertainment.
No, before you do that.
Travel, where are we at now?
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
You want to say something, no?
No, go ahead. I'm good.
Okay. So we went from insurance 36, 38 to 36. There was a 4% saving. Even if it's negative, but it's still a saving. You want that one to be negative. Travel and
what is this?
Entertainment. We don't know what's travel and entertainment and what kind of travel it is, whose travel it is, who traveled, and what's entertainment. We probably would like to know. Is those kind of expensive, if they are eliminated or reduced, that would be saving to the parish. I don't know what's counted as travel and entertainment. Who does the traveling and who is being entertained?
Maybe when they preach, going places, no?
What?
When they preach, suppose they preach from Boston to New York, and maybe it's travel, down there for some kind of activity.
We
Are
don't
they-
know. We don't know.
We
just
don't
want to make
know.
sure that
We
it
just
is.
don't
That's
know.
why the finance committee was.
Yeah.
Joyce would attest to what I'm saying. The finance committee that's in place usually, if they got those kind of expenses on a quarterly basis, they would discuss those kind of expenses. Then they see if it makes sense, and they would make recommendation. They say, who travel? Why did they travel? Is that useful to the parish? Does that benefit the parish? Or can we just keep that? That would be the role of an active finance council. They kind of review on the spot, not 3 years later, but as things are happening. You
He's
see,
right.
okay, last month we
He's
had
right.
that travel, or it could be in a budget. How much we're planning to spend this year on
Absolutely.
travel, and why would we be traveling? So
Absolutely.
if is it necessary, let's keep it. If it's not, let's cut it. That can be saving for a parish. So finance council would do that in the
Yeah.
future.
And just to add to that is this, so that in any ministry that we have, whenever they come to the parish council to tell us what they're gonna do throughout the year, you know, they said, oh, we're gonna go to New York and so and so and so and so. Well, as you telling us this, how are you gonna get there? Are you gonna hire a bus? Who's gonna pay for that? You know, things like that. So in each ministry, like Michelle said, they should come to us with a budget of what they're planning to do. How are you going to finance what you do? You know,
Exactly.
and then the flip side is if you're going to do something, even explain to us, we're going to do this event and it's going to bring in $5,000 for the church. That's a good thing. So you have both the flip side, you know, if it's going to cost money, we need to know about it so that we can discuss and either approve or disapprove, you know?
To me,
Interesting.
I
That's
don't know
good.
we have such a thing at the church because I never heard any ministries, any group doing things like this, like travel to do entertainment and then use any benefit from the church. I never heard about it. I don't know what it
So
is.
those are kind of questions that are
Yeah.
that are warranted if you want to ask where people go, what kind of do they have plane ticket, who took that trip,
Mhm.
for what reason, can that be avoided? If that could be avoided, that's $6,000, $5,000 we can save for the coffins. Going forward, those are the kind of things that we need to watch. Some expenses are necessary, some are not.
Unnecessary
All
spending.
right, so we got household, the household, 4,000 in 2017. It went down to 1,003. So there was an improvement of 67%. What is household expense? What are the means that they took? What did they eliminate to make it happen? So that was a good thing. That's something that kept. Why was it so high in 17? Why is it so low in 18? So if it was that low in 18, why can't we continue being frugal and keep the expenses down like we did in 18? All right.
I might get an idea. Now, it's because in 2017 it was more preachers in St. Angela. People keep on coming and go. So that means the household get more thing spends more thing like
I
things.
understand that, John. Yeah, Jean. Yeah, but you know, if it happened 1 year, it happened the other year. How do you explain the difference? What
But
happened?
Yeah.
What
no,
kind of measures were taken to make that improvement?
yeah,
And
but in the 2018, it was less father. If less people was in St. Angela, less people. Father Gustav was there. I think he went to St. Gregory. He didn't even eat there. He didn't sleep there. A lot of things changed at St. Angela in 2018, some kind, you know. But 2017, yeah.
yeah, that's what we think. But accounting needs to provide those kind of
Yeah.
information.
Okay, yeah, yes.
You might think of it. It might be
Might
this.
not
It might
that.
not be
Yeah,
that. It might be something different.
Yeah, could be something different, but I just get
Yeah,
an
but
idea.
if you're trying your best guess, I think you might be on track. But and when you're trying to do reporting and accountability for the parish,
Mhm.
you need to tell people exactly what caused what. We cannot assume.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, where were you now?
Capital.
Capital
Facility expense, that's where everything related to the buildings and to the housing, to the house. And there was 60, it went down. 17 was more expensive facilities than 18. So dividend payments, we paid more interest, dividend, interest and dividend expense. Yeah, we don't have a dividend expense. We got interest expense. We pay interest more in 18 than in 17. So it went from 2 to 4. So that means if you're paying more interest, that means you're taking more loans, right? So you would not know unless you're looking at the balance sheet that is not yet provided. So the only way you would know that is, okay, we get interest that we are paying. Why is interest this year more than it was a year before? The only explanation that's we get more loans and what were the loan used for, right? So you see the P&L cannot answer all the questions. So we need all the pieces that were provided so we can get better reasoning. All right, and pastoral, liturgical, we don't know what make up those expenses. It went up by 15% from 22 to 25. Fundraising expenses. We do fundraising in 2017. It was the expenses for fundraise was 7, and it went down by 3. But I didn't see any fundraising revenue. Let's go up there to see any of them.
Oh, la, la.
If we get fundraising expense, we got to get fundraising revenue. Where are they?
They're not here.
So did you see it? You see
No.
it?
Mm-mm. I was looking at
So
it.
how do you get fundraising revenue if you don't have fundraising expense, if you don't get revenue? So they probably toss it in any other bucket. So that's not clear enough. So there should be a mirror image of fundraising. We get the revenue, we get the expenses.
You know what I'm wondering? Is that something that they have a sheet set up in their whatever software they are using and then point those numbers? Because I see so many that's not appropriate to operation at all.
Yeah,
So many
exactly. We need something a lot simpler.
We need an explanation.
Yes, you need the definitions. Like exactly right. All these lines, they're not making a lot of sense to most people.
They don't. Yeah.
So those are exactly things that you probably have to bring up. I don't want to be the only guy teasing them, but so those are notes that you write down.
I can ask for, answer for this because this is ridiculous. I don't get it.
It is. It's so complicated. Too many line items that are not explained.
Yeah.
And you don't know what make them up. They might make sense to them, but they don't make sense to the people they are reporting to.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions and comments about this?
Look at that one that says other expense, just right after just the word other expense brings it bothers me. I'm saying, okay, if it's an expense, that's one thing, but to say it's other, like the question is, what is that? What is that?
It is significant enough. It's $8,000. It's no penny. It's 8,000. So those are things that are not really looking too good.
That's really bad. Yeah, very bad.
So they might be honest doing what they're doing, but they got to make clear things to us. They got to be clear to us so we can understand what they're trying. So
we don't know what this one means.
So what we're trying to do is to see the areas of improvements where we can improve, but we don't know what's inside those lines, what define those lines. So how do we help improve how we spend the money? or how we get the money.
So that means we need more detail. We need more detail about those lines.
We do, and they need to be more forthcoming in
More
providing
specific too.
More
explanations.
Yes.
They should, instead of us asking for too many questions, they should think about they're doing it for lay people that are not professional accountants or finance people, and they can make sense of most of the lines. If we need technical expertise, we probably will ask for more advanced stuff. But for the regular people, we just need something that's clear. I think that would be a fair request.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
I think they should have
We're
the
speaking,
questions
John.
already, because
Oh, okay. Events.
yeah, that's me talking. Yeah, so I believe that they should have the answer to this question already, because those years have been audited.
Yes, I think so.
I'm
Those are
pretty
not
sure-
audited
I'm
sheets.
pretty sure that the auditors would require them to provide a detail of what other expense, what constitute other expense, what is missing revenue, so what is other revenue. So I believe that they must have some schedule somewhere giving you the detail of how they come up with that number. Other
Yes.
revenue, $80,000. What is comprised of? So I
Yeah.
believe they do have that information. So
They
if we ask
should.
them, they should be able to provide that to us.
And also, if every year you get audited, there should be an annual report where everything like in a booklet, where every statement is consolidated together.
So I don't know if it is by parish. If
It should be by parish, because there was no consolidated accounting until now.
Until now.
No fiscal year, like going forward, it should be consolidated, but there should be separate annual review and annual reports or set of financials per parish. But the big problem is all this time we're trying to get meetings with finance people, with the finance committees have been trying to meet with accounting and pastor. And the pastors, since Father Joy and Father Delhi, and no meetings have been happening. And then so many numbers have gone wrong, and they keep going wrong and wrong and wrong. And then it kind of, at some point, I think they throw they throw numbers anywhere, and nobody is asking questions.
What did we say about the pastoral liturgical? So what
We don't know. We don't know what it is.
We don't know.
So all the lines are not clearly explained to us. There are no definitions for those lines and what make them up. So our next question is to ask them to define what are in the lines. And also get more of the reports. All right, let's see if we can get to another report.
So we're going to get something in St. Matthews?
Yeah, we got to St. Angela, got St. Matthew, then we get St. Angela. That's 18 and 19.
Why don't we do this? Go to St. Matthew's and just compare, since we saw what happened.
Yes, that's correct.
17 to 18.
Let me see what we get
17 to 18. Let's see which church had a better year.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely. Let's see.
St. Matthew's.
That's St. Matthew, that's St. Angela, that's St. Matthew here. Give it a second, it should come up.
Is that the same year? Okay.
Yeah, the same here, 17, 18. So St. Matthew went up in collections from 17 to 18. But the donation to St. Matthew were not that great in those years. compared to what we saw for St. Angela. Then again, we can always ask for explanation about the donation thing. Who did it by 500%? 500%. I don't know what it is, but for that 500% is from the numbers are not that big. It's 4,000 and 25,000. So total contribution improved from 17 to 18 by 3.290%, but in terms of dollars, they were not big again. Tuitions, no tuitions, but in St. Matthew had tuitions of 1,000 in 2017. I don't know what tuition, maybe it's for CCDs, I don't know where they get those 1,000 they just plug in for tuitions. We don't receive tuitions in there. Then you get rental, lease income. That's probably from, I don't know, from St. Matthew. Where do we get the lease income from? Or rental income? I don't know. Maybe John can help you with that. But I don't know that St.
Got the
Matthew receives
daycare?
that much.
The daycare?
The daycare.
Money from the daycare?
Maybe the daycare, yeah, okay. That could be daycare money. That's not a lot of money, but it went down by $10,000, 12% difference. Then we get here, other revenue. I don't know what other revenue that went from 101 to 70, went down by 31%.
31%.
That's a big, that requires some good explanation. What was so good in 17 that's not so good in 18? But then you get salaries and benefits went up also by $10,000 in St. Matthew, but clergy stipend went down by 8,000. So they had less visiting priests they were paying. All right, so insurance expense went up for St. Matthew's again because they insure all these buildings. Went up by 7,000. Office expense at St. Matthew was $10,000. Huh? So we get St. Matthew and St. Angela, the office expense only, they are pretty high. It went up by, St. Matthew went up by 1,800, but it's quite a bit of expense. $10,000 for expense, like you get almost 8,000, almost 800 to 900 of office expenses per month. I don't know what, but
myself question. I had question for the insurance
facilities.
For Michelle. Wait, there is a question now. And 61,000 for insurance. For that's a big money for insurance.
Yeah, you got to insure all this building, the school, the rectory, the church, the convent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's 4 buildings to insure.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But still, we don't see papers. That's what they give us. We take it. So
yes,
we cannot validate these numbers.
Yes.
But that's what I could understand. That's what it is for.
Yes.
So for total facilities, expenses for those buildings and rectories and churches, etc., went up by 11%, from 88 to 97. And then we get the household, which went up from 4 to 5, 18% increase. Capital expenditures, we didn't purchase anything. We didn't make any big fixing. So in 2018, interest and dividends. So they paid about the same amount of interest. So St. Matthew has more loans than St. Angela because you can see the interest is in 23. For St. Angela, I think it was in the range of 5,000 or 400, something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but that means that St. Matthew has a large loan on the repair of the church that was done at some point that causing the interest to be higher. Pastoral, liturgical, maybe it's candles, I don't know if that's post, things like that could be, it went from 9,000 to 12,000. So all these pieces can be, we can sit down and see how we can improve on those expenses. That's what we will have to do at some point, helping as the business manager should come with a budget, not us, but we should be able to be well educated about the line items so we can form opinions and
Give them advice.
recommendations. Yeah, give advice. It's not our job again to do the budget, but we can participate in helping them shape the budget. So all in all, we get St. Matthew. From 17, there was a loss of 22,000, and 2018 there was a loss of 47,000. So they have pretty good revenue. I don't know what caused St. Matthew to have some good revenue at some point, 72, 17. But the losses at St. Matthew are not that bad compared to those of St. Angela for those 2 years. But that's one side of the story until we see what's on the balance sheet and the cash flow, how cash gets in. All right, let's do the other two reports. I'm just plugging my computer, it's dying on me. Just a second. You can talk in a minute.
I was wondering why would the rental going up? Normally a rental income should go every year, not down.
Hello, Mariette.
Yes, can you hear me?
Mariette, I just hear your voice. When you finish, do you have my phone number?
Do you have my number?
Do you have my number?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you take it? Can you take it now?
Okay.
Please.
Let me grab it. Why would the rental income goes down instead of going up?
The rental income?
Yeah, for St. Matthew.
Where are we now? Okay.
That was just a question.
Oh, total
The
of
rental income, yeah. Total
So it was better in 17.
but still,
Yeah, why
Less.
would that happen?
Those are questions that they should put notes about them. Why? Those whys are very important. Why? We keep having those why. Because those are the same people who own who rent the building. They should not be going down unless they redo the lease arrangement. I don't know. So why they
normally it should go up, not down.
Again, like I was saying with Joyce earlier, Joyce is familiar with committees like this, and those things should not have happened if the committees meet regularly. The only way to prevent those things, those numbers to pop up without explanation is because no committees have been meeting. And then at some point they plug numbers anywhere and there is no explanation to give to any committees. That's the purpose of not meeting. So we kind of deal with the after fact. It's like we're doing autopsies, we're not predicting. We're just dealing with the dead body at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would have been a better thing if the committees are more involved and the There are mandatory meetings that happen with business manager, the pastor, and the team, and they make sure that things don't slide.
One of the things I'd like to say too is this. When we do start with the new parish and everything, I'm going to be firm that the new finance committee has to make sure that we have a regular audit, because when you audit frequently, then you're able to nip things in the bud. So in other words, I'm for the fact that every 3 months we will have an
Yes.
audit. So from January to March, whatever took place, just as an example, that
Yeah.
means every April we sit there and look at what's going on before we move further. But it adds to what Michelle says.
Yeah.
You know, you don't wait till the last minute. Here we are looking at stuff in 17, and here's 2020
Yeah, a lot of things could have been fixed if the meetings were held regularly.
regularly.
Michelle,
Yes.
No,
can we have our next meeting with Derek on it?
He
I
should
think
be-
that would be a good idea. So for him to explain what things
To
mean,
explain, those lines.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
that would be a great one.
normally, if we have a good budget and all expenses are justified, we don't really need to have auditing every 3 months. We have audit so often, it's because when things are not justified.
That's not.
But
That,
if
I
we
would,
follow
Marriott,
our
I don't
budget-
think she's talking about the outside auditors. She would probably
Oh, yeah.
just
Internal.
to keep them in check.
Oh, you're talking about
Internal, yeah, just by the
Oh, okay.
committee.
Okay, that's fine.
Not a formal audit.
Okay.
Not a formal audit, just the visitation of the books, if you want to call it that way. You want to visit the book, check the books, but not the external audit where you pay auditors, the CPAs to come and look at it.
No.
Okay. All right.
Just the parish audit by the
Mhm.
committee.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to at least to visit the book, get access to the books and ask questions before they get to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's take the other two reports, see where we are. We'll close that one. Let's go back to St. Angela. We're gonna do, that's 2018 and 19 that we had now, see where we're standing right now. Because the new report should be due in June. End of June is the end of the fiscal year. We should get the new reports. But again, if we don't have the details and the baseline, so it's very hard to compare, especially the cash. Cash is what is the blood lifeline of the parishes. We need to see regularly on a monthly basis what's in, what's out, and why their money, how they come in and how they go out, why, and get some explanations. So that way we catch things early and make better recommendations. Let's see where we are. Okay, for St. Angela, we're looking at St. Angela comparing 18 and 19. All right, 18 was bad, 19 was worse. 19 was, in 18, we had that 19, and then in 2019, you get 154 negative. So it get worse by 29%. So there's quite a bit of decay in the parish finances. So again, facilities for St. Angela went up by 60. There was some kind of major repairs in 2018.
Michelle, excuse me, please.
Yes.
You are in 19 and 18, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and which line you start?
Say it again.
On which line you start? Because the first line is 190, 210.
It doesn't matter. Usually you start to your right hand side.
Mhm.
The one that's at 218, you say from 218, you could say that from 218 to 119. So the revenue went down because you had 218, now you only have 119. So
Yeah,
you get
okay, all right, good.
you lost 13% of
Yeah,
what
okay.
was the revenue there.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. So donations again went up this time from 6 to 24. That was a good thing. So we don't know who gave small donations, but donations anyway, 272% increase. Um, donation appeals went up a little bit. Total tuition and fees, we get some good 18, we get 11,000 in tuition. I don't know what makes up tuition, that bothers me. But in 18, we get 2009, and that was a decrease. So there was a huge tuition and fees there. That's when you get those big variation, that needs some explanation. St. Angela had other revenue, a decrease in sacramental offering from 26 to 19, but a big increase in other revenue. What makes up other revenue? Something good happened to St. Angela in 2019, causing it to jump from 84 to 120. So we would like some explanation about that. Why did other revenue increase that much, 42,000 in 2019? Somebody, Santa Claus was probably very nice to us.
That's right.
No explanations there, we don't know. Maybe Santa dropped it.
We had to talk to Santa again. Huh?
Yeah. So we get the expenses, total revenue went up by 1%. So all in all, it's like the money, there was no real change because in total, the change was only by 1%. So expenses went from 275 to 200. They saved 64, 24% saving. Total professional services, etc., etc. So clergy stipend went back up again.
265 and 2000.
Yeah, from 36. Yeah, we look at the second line, the clergy stipends and benefits. So I don't know if the salary, they're calling the salary and benefits maybe. But there's salaries and benefit, then there is stipend and benefits.
Yeah.
So just need some more explanation, some details. So unless we have details, we know what's happening. We would not know. We would not know.
Yeah, we have three lines that's, almost the same thing. Salaries and benefits, clergy stipend and benefits, religious stipend and benefits.
Yeah.
What the difference between those three?
Yeah.
All these benefits, we don't know. We don't know. And there should be a total just for them, because just that's a significant amount of the expenses. I think the biggest part of the expenses.
And we want next time we have to ask David to put the thing in Excel.
But I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're taking notes and everybody's taking their own notes. So when there's a meeting, you ask a particular item, and so everybody can talk and see that this is a team that's working, that we're viewing everything together.
Together, yeah.
Yeah. So that one of the big things is the definition of the line items and the explanation of the variations between from year to year. Those are the main questions you need to ask. Explain the variation from year to year and what makes up the line items when we see that. We're not able to guess, we just want good definitions of each line item. So sometimes when they're putting a deadline, they're pushing things, but deadline is, we see how difficult it is to work with the deadline. You don't have the documentation, and the documentation that you have do not have sufficient information for you to understand those documentation. You can only make sense of the big line items, but sometimes the details are missing and we don't know them. Then as Evan said also, because those years were audited, we probably need to see are these the pages from the audited statements, or are these new sheets that are newly created for us? All right. So we got a lot of questions. I want to make sure we write down what we have. And we thank Joyce for taking very good notes. She sent all the minutes of what we talk about every time.
Yeah.
All right, let's do, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We'll go just St. Matthews, and you have a good idea how we analyze each line. Internet.
Yeah, it's
Okay, let's do to the next one. I'll do the St. Matthew 2018-2019. St. Matthew revenue went up, but minusculely by 4%, from 124 to 128. Contribution went down from 25 to 12, almost 50% drop. Total contribution went down by 54% from 27 to 12. Rental went up back to where it was last year. Yeah. So why it went down, then now it went up. Now they're paying the full amount. They have a break for a little while or something, but it went back up. In 17, it was 82. It becomes again 72. Now it's 82. That's why are these variations? What's causing that? Who approve any kind of discount or what's going on? Then we get sacramental offering went up. Other revenue went down. I don't know what's the other revenue, but it was 70. It becomes 55. Missing revenue. What's missing revenue? That's a good question for people to
Good
ask.
question, yeah.
Yeah, I might write it down because it can be revenue, but you call it missing revenue. It still count as positive revenue. So what's missing revenue? But so for that kind of revenue that's missing went up. That's a good thing. That missing revenue went up. Yeah. All right. So expenses went up from 93 to 123. Clergy stipend and benefits.
38,
They
44.
went from 38 to 44. There's so more expenses. And religious stipend and benefits barely has anything at St. Matthews, so there was no group using that kind of benefits. All right, total professional services. I don't know what it is, who does the professional service, what kind of service they are. Is that for accounting? Is that for CPAs? I don't know, lawyers? We don't know what makes it up. What is professional services?
I don't know.
That's all together. I think it's professional services, contract services. Isn't that two same thing?
Yeah, the two of them are the same.
mm-hmm.
They contract somebody for professional services. And what kind of services was that? Was it a lawyer? Was it an accountant? Was it, we don't know. Was it
Well, repair, whatever, repair, something like that.
No, that would be, yeah, this kind of thing. Office expense at St. Matthew went from 10,000 to 13. It's a lot of office expenses, huh? More than 1,000 or more. Insurance expense from St. Matthew went down by about 1,000, 2%. Facilities, utilities, and other property facility costs, it went from 87 over here. It went from 97 to 114. That's a lot of increase. What caused that big increase? 17,000 more for 18%. Travel, there was no travel at St. Matthew in 2018, but there was some in 2019, there was some in 2018 for 1,500. Household Not sure what that is. Went down a little bit. I don't know. Maybe is that for food? We're just guessing because they're not explained. Interests, like I said, they usually pay the same amount of interest yearly, $23,000 of interest on the buildings or loan taken on the buildings. Other expenses, we don't know what they are. It was 1,000 in 18. It went to 14,000. That means 748% increase. That
What is that? What is that?
through the roof.
What is that?
That's scary numbers, scary percentage, 748. You only see those in heaven. Pastoral and liturgical, from 12 to 9, expense went down a little bit. And fundraising expenses, again, we get fundraising expenses, but they don't put a line for the fundraising revenue. So if you do expense to do fundraising, you got to show the fundraising what it brings in. You only see what it brings out, what went out.
Yep.
So I know sometimes they do lotteries and we do all kind of other things in the backyard and they bring money in. So if they spend some money, well, you got to put in fairness some revenue to show what went in, and that was not shown in the report. And this report, like I told you earlier, is only partial because it gives you they're not explained and they only give you revenue and expenses, but you don't know the value of the properties. That's only shown in the balance sheets, what we own and what we owe, the debts, the amount of debts that are current, the long-term debts and the current debts. Those you can only see in the balance sheet. So also the cash report and statement of cash flow and bank reconciliation will tell you when exactly what check was signed, how the money paid in and out of the bank accounts, how many bank accounts we have. We don't know all this information. So there's a lot. We're getting to get familiar with the accounts, but there's a lot more left to be discovered than what we know. So only at this point, what we can do is to ask a lot of questions and be forthcoming and polite and try to dig as much as you get out of them in the meetings, because there are questions. Yes. Yeah. But like I said, there are artificial deadlines for this. We want to do this by then. I don't know if that's going to happen really, but I hope they happen fast, because the more we stay separate parishes, the longer we stay, the more money we're going to be paying. But at some point, we don't have enough elements to start making good planning and helping make good decisions for the future. We only see problems that we can help improve. We won't let that happen because we would have committees, and the committees need to meet regularly, so we can block the issues before they happen. Yeah. Next week I won't be there, and the week after I will be having some medical leave for about a week. So for the next 2 weeks, probably I would be able to, one for personal reason, one for medical reason. So I'm going to be out for 2 weeks. So I don't know who is going to be taking over. Mary, will you be able to take over the meeting, the meetings while I'm not participating? If I can, I will jump in, but I don't think I will be able to.
We'll help you.
Okay. So while for the 2 weeks I'll be out, I'd like somebody to help me. Yeah. And I'll be following you from the distance.
So are we going to, why we don't just skip next week and do it the week following?
Although I don't think you need to skip though.
No, we don't want to skip no beat.
You should keep the momentum going. Even
Yeah,
if
we have to.
Yeah. It's important that we meet because there's a lot to learn, and we're trying to push to get as much documentation that we need. Like we say, those are P&Ls only, but we need balance sheet, we need statement of cash flow, we need bank reconciliations. All these details are
Yeah.
very, very important so we can
Okay.
make good decisions.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions, comments, and concerns? And
The next meeting will be next Wednesday.
I think we
With
should keep it
finance
on
committee.
Wednesdays.
But this coming Friday is one of
This
those.
coming Friday, we have a meeting with Father
Yeah.
Soper, so
Yeah. Mhm.
With
we
Father
can
Soper.
tell them exactly where we are, what we have, what we've been
Okay.
doing, is
Mhm.
reading and trying to get familiar with the reports, but unfortunately, the definitions of the lines items are not there, and we are only guessing what makes up the numbers. So it's not a good thing to be guessing. So we would like them to provide us with full details of what goes into each account
Right.
make a simpler, if we can suggest them to make a simpler report
Yep. Yep.
where the layperson can easily read it without having to pay a CPA or an accountant to read it for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm not sure of up to now? I'm not sure yet what they want us to do. Do they want us to compare the two parishes numbers and give them a summary of the two, or do they want a budget from us?
We cannot
do we have
budget
to come up
yet. That's a good question, Mariette. I think it's a good question because at some point, what we will be coming up with is making good comparison line by line to see what each parish does better and compare them. We're not going to say this is the good parish, the bad parish. This is what we've compared. We're going to say we have compared the expenses for this item in this parish and that item. And then because we're going to become one parish anyway, we're going to start making recommendations for avoiding the many problems we've seen so far. But it will be a good thing to compare asset to asset, what each parish has, liability to liabilities, revenue to revenue, and then make sure that will be the best two parishes will fit our needs. And each committee will do their own work. We are only doing the financial. Like finance, I think facilities will be doing, okay, this is the number of sport, the spaces that we need, the number of people that we have, and the kind of meetings that we want to have, the number of, and what the new parish will look like and will need to function in terms of space. Facility has to do that. Which parish is ready to start? That will be the work of recommendation, not the work, but the recommendation of facility based on their own estimation. And then for us, we're going to be trying to see the financial part, how to get money in, what's been coming in, what's been coming out, and what parish is being doing the things well, and where the money is coming from, where do they go. We got to make loose recommendations and see. They'll make their determination, then we will discuss again. So we're going to be very impartial, not to recommend this parish over that parish. We just let the number talk, and they'll make decision, and we'll make recommendation the best we can. Any other body? Maria, did that answer your question?
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat? Yeah, okay. What's missing? Mariette, what else would you like to hear?
Yes. No, for now, I'm not talking about the new budget yet. I was talking about for now, what do they want us to come up with before the merger.
The merger? I think
Before the merger.
okay, as a finance committee, there is nothing we can do now. Because as a finance committee, when we have those reports, we need to understand them clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be ready for when the merger take place, and then to see what can we eliminate, what unnecessary expensive that we've been doing.
Yeah.
And then what suggestion we can give them to get, when they are doing the fundraising, what can we do to get money in? Those things that we're gonna have to give them suggestion, but we cannot, I don't see nothing that we can do before the merger.
Yeah.
No, true.
We need those reports to sit and then understand them clearly, and then talk to the manager for now, and then be ready for when the merger take place to do things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes, true. What she said is
We
true.
can say all the
Yeah.
failures that
Yeah.
we've uncovered. This is what can be done better, so and so, and that will be we're checking each parish separately. See, this is the failures that we have uncovered, and where the area of waste, the area that we can improve, and
Yeah.
then now they will see what 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 the new. How will we make sure that the new entity has a stream of revenue that will sustain the parish, and so it doesn't fall into decay the same way that we're falling into decay, because a lot of things are happening that should not have happened. Then after the merger, you would have make sure that you get a collection is the lifeline of parishes. You got to get the list of all parishioners that are registered and that are given to a regular envelope system, and make sure that you can count on, not just the day they are here, but even if they're not there, they will make sure that you can count on it. Then on the other hand, other parts of the parish say, are we offering the best programs? Are we going to be able to keep the parishioners happy? Do they feel that they are serviced very well? They get good masses, they get good programs, or you're just trying to hold on to a building. Maybe there are competitions out there. So we want to make sure that besides just talking about merging two buildings, we're merging two communities with a lot of resources and programs to offer to make sure that they are live issues. I don't think I don't know if I answer. I'm trying, but I think the people more qualified would give you a full answer.
I think after the merger, if we get the finance committee is well equipped, well knowing on what's going on with those numbers, negative number, a lot of number, that's mean nothing to us. And the facility gets a good hand on what's going on, and as a communication, and I think we will do good. We will do good. We will do good. I feel we will do good because it will be different way to approach the participant, the people coming from the church. We'll invite them different way, and we will do better. And we get some building we can sell, we can lease, and we will get income coming. We will do better. It's for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and also the programs, when I talk about programs, I don't know if it is the parish councils, they will work, I think, closely with Father to determine what kind of programs and what is the vision for the new parish and what that vision entails. If the vision you have said, we want a parish that has this, that has that, what do we need? What will it cost to maintain those programs? So it's all a matter of planning, but putting numbers to the plan to see if we want this, how do we afford to do this or that. So when we put all the thing together, help putting it together at least, I think budget team, the management staff, Derek and Tom will probably bring a budget, propose a budget, have us seen it, and then they move forward. We can only advise, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we've done a long stretch.
Yeah.
So if you,
No, wait.
okay, Joyce has something to say.
In terms of dates and time. Okay, so Michelle, you've indicated that you'll be out on the 24th and the
Yes, the two following weeks, yes.
Following.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm told that next Tuesday, which is June the 23rd,
Yeah.
that'll be Father Garcia's 35th anniversary as a priest. I'm made to understand that there's going to be a 7 o'clock mass. I don't know, but I guess I'm understanding it's going to be at St. Angela's, or it's going to be a televised thing like this, like Zoom.
Mhm.
So that's on Tuesday, June the 23rd.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all invited. Is that right? It is, yeah.
As I made to understand, as many who will come, and then we get the number of people that we can legitimately put in the church.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the folks
They're
are
gonna be in the parking lot, and then someone who can help them.
Everybody who can make it is invited. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now the week that second week that you're out, Michelle,
Mhm.
that's the so-called official date of the new parish. I'm part of the parish council committee also. And last night there was an in-depth discussion about what are we going to do when the official day comes. They had bantered that they were suggesting that they would also have one of those taped masses on the first, so that everybody can just sign on to Zoom or YouTube or whatever and see it.
Mhm.
Then they talked about that following Sunday, which will be the first official Sunday, that the same thing could possibly happen. If a lot of people didn't really come to church, then they would just show it on YouTube or Zoom.
Okay.
So I don't know where it is.
Thank you. I think Gaspar will probably
Yeah.
keep
Right.
bombarding
He will let
as
us
soon as-
know. Yeah, he will send an
Okay.
announcement.
Probably Friday, they'll have more meat to it than what I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
So I would encourage on Friday that when we have the meeting, people ask questions because we have
Yes, I
questions.
will.
And yeah, make sure that we different people ask different questions. So we kind of say where we were, that we're working, and then we need more of the information to work to make better, to be better informed. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Who wants to say the final prayer?
God,
No
thank
volunteer.
you. Yes, I'm
All
going to
right.
do it.
Again, I'll do it again. You do it, John? Jean?
I'll do it. I do it.
Okay. Yeah.
God, when we started, we invited you. And we know you were with us while we were trying to understand what's going on. So we thank you. And we ask you to keep a stand with us, to guide us, to open our brain, our devotion, to discover the best way, the goodest way to keep St. Angela or St. Matthew's Parish going forward. And we can leave behind us a good legacy for the next generation. We ask you that because we know you are our mighty God. You will help us. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Under the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, guys. So we'll meet Friday, and in the meantime, you keep praying for one another and pray for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Friday the meeting. At what time the meeting?
It's
6
usually
p.m.
6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 p.m.
All right, guys. Take care.
Okay. Okay.